What's going on, everybody? Checkered Flag Studios here, and just as I have promised, I'm doing a Pocono review video. I'm going to be doing a series on where I review stuff throughout the week with NASCAR, even when the season's over. I got to think of a clever title for it. Right now, I'm just going to do the title of the race and then review. But let's just break right into it. First up, I want to say this was the first time I've been to Pocono since, I believe, 2009. That was the year that Hamlin and Stewart won. So, yeah, 2009. And it was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I got to meet 4 drivers. I saw 4 drivers there. Got to talk to 2 of them. Other 2, I kind of just brushed by and was like, oh, there's, whoever's standing right next to me the whole time. Hello, I don't have anything on me for you to sign, but that's awesome, I got there and it was pretty fun. I went with a couple friends. It was a great time. Probably one of my favorite venues to go to, besides, there's Dover and Martinsville I've been to, where else have I been? Dover, Martinsville. We were thinking about going to Watkins Glen, but I enjoyed Pocono the most. And it's same experience, a little bit better since 2009. It's been, very nice. There was a lot of stuff that I wanted to get that wasn't there. For instance, Eric Almirola was doing a signing. I wanted to get a 124 scale diecast to get signed or just to have, because the Talladega one is yet to come in and they were sold out, so I was a little bummed about that. I didn't get any die casts or anything. I ended up getting this shirt, Kevin Harvick one. It was like $20, one of the pit crew ones. Pretty nice, So other stuff that I got, which is pretty cool, is I got this FedEx Denny Hamlin hat. This was $20 or $25. It just matches the uniform, that's why I bought it. But then, so I was walking around, and let me tell you a story before I show you this. So I was walking around, and I was trying to see Eric Almirola, and I saw him. I didn't get a signature because he needed a wristband, but I saw him. I was like, yo, and he's like, So I saw him, and then I was walking away, and as I'm walking past this tent, I noticed there's a crowd gathering, so I walk up to see what's going on, and this guy's standing there for the company that's sponsoring the tent. He's like, hey, come meet our driver. And I'm like, oh, okay, wondering, I said an also ran driver or somebody nobody knows, is Bailey Curry, or is it Reed Sorensen? And the guy goes, oh, it's David Reagan. I'm like, what? I was like, no way, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So now I'm in line to meet David Reagan. I'm like, this is awesome. I know who, I know who David Reagan is. He's won a couple races. He's a great plate racer, actually. So I ended up going up to meet David Reagan. I ended up getting one of the cards that they have there to sign, and I ended up framing it right away because I was like, that's awesome. Super nice guy. I walked up to him, I shook his hand and I was talking to him, and he's like, what's going on and everything. I'm like, for as much as you run, I'm like, you're doing awesome. You know what I mean? I was like, I love watching you on play race. He was like, oh, thanks. I was like, yeah, good luck, And then he blew up on lap 20, so that sucked. But well, I'll get into a race review later on in this video. But then, yeah, so I ended up having him sign this hat here. And then as I was getting it signed, I noticed I started walking backwards, and Austin Dillon was walking past me. So I was like, oh my God, Austin Dillon, how about that? It's pretty neat. You get to see all the drivers walking around. And then I ended up I was walking and there was a fan stage and everybody was gathered around holding up stuff for people to sign. So I'm wondering who's coming out. And Alex Bowman walks out, and I'm like, wow, how about that, right? So I ended up getting Alex Bowman's signature on my hat. I try to get in there. So it was pretty cool. It was neat. Although I wanted to meet Eric Almirola the most, still getting 2 drivers' autographs and meeting, technically meeting 4, because I did say hi to Eric and I brushed past Austin Dillon. I'll consider that meeting. It was pretty neat. And then, so now let's get into the race. For driver introductions, we were sitting there, and Clint Boyer, we got Clint Boyer's attention, Brad Keselowski's attention, and Kevin Harvick's attention, to the point where they pointed to us, or gave us a fist bump right in our direction, which was pretty cool. That's why Pocono is definitely one of the friendlier places that I've it was pretty neat. That's all I'm gonna say. So let's get on to the race now. Before I get to the race, I want to talk about something that is really starting to get brought up again in the community, and it's about some popular YouTubers, people on Instagram, people on Twitter. They're bashing Pocono. They're saying it's really terrible. They're being kind of ignorant saying it because they just don't understand. It's kind of the only thing Pennsylvania has, for NASCAR. 2 races there is actually pretty perfect for the summer. if they'd actually just understand. And there have been exciting finishes there. I know some popular YouTubers don't even know what they're talking about, saying that, the track hasn't produced anything exciting, when if you look up in 2001, Dale Jr. and Bobby Labonte battled, 2013, Casey Kane, Jeff Gordon, 2014, Dale Jr., Keselowski, and Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick, 2015, the fuel mileage race, 2016, Chris Buescher got his first win. Any other ones that I'm forgetting? 2012, Joey Logano and Mark Martin went at it. 2009, Hamlin out-battled on a restart. 2010, I believe it was, where there was the big accident with Casey Kane on the last lap. Like, are we forgetting this stuff is happening at Pocono, YouTubers? Or, what are we doing here? So I just don't think they really appreciate what the track is. Really, it's unique, and they don't like that. They want more cookie cutter tracks or road courses. But people don't understand that with road course finishes and road course racings, we're not going to get the Roval every week. We're going to get Sonoma, where the leader wins by 17 seconds and the cars run single file most of the lap down the S's, which happens all the time. And another thing is, people don't complain about Indy when it's the same exact racing as Pocono. At Indy, they run single file after the restart, after it fans out. Maybe they'll dive down and run 2-3 wide, but then when they hit the corner, they fan out again. There's not as much crashes. It's more fuel mileage, kind of. There's some competition cautions. It's the same racing you'll see, boring racing, as a New Hampshire, as a Sonoma, Indy, Michigan. All tracks like that are similar to what Pocono is. Just because they run single file doesn't mean the racetrack's terrible. If you look at the Indy cars run 5 wide, 3 wide, 2 wide through those corners constantly. Now, again, it's a different type of car, but let's take a look at the car, not the track, before we bash the track, all right? I just want to say that because really, they just don't know what they're talking about. So let's get on to the race. Okay, so on to the race. Overall, it was a good race. It really was. Again, in person, watching it on the front straightaway, it was fun. Kyle Busch obviously ends up winning. Kyle Larson dominated. William Byron, actually, let me give a shout out quick to William Byron, because he led a lot of laps in the beginning, and then when the caution came out, he dropped back, but he stayed up front mostly. I think a win's coming for William Byron. But another shout out I want to give to is the Kurt Busch pit crew. Wow, did they bounce back from adversity? I'm pretty sure he was on pit road the most. I think he was on pit road more in the first half of the race than people were the entire race, and they bounced back to finish 10th. That's outstanding. Really, that's crazy, because they were behind most of the race. Jimmy Johnson had a good run. He finished within, the top half of the field. A lot of Hendrick guys finished up there, Bowman. But, the one thing that I want to talk about, Kyle Larson winning 2 stages, showing that he was dominant at those flat racetracks again, but he had a problem late in the race. He got turned by Bowyer, hit the wall, had to pit, ended up finishing, I think, as the last car on the lead lap, which sucks, but, he had, got a lot of stage points, and a win's coming soon for them. I know they won at the All-Star race, but I do believe that. I think actually in Michigan he could win. I don't know yet, but we'll see how practice goes. Other than that, a lot of single file racing. There were a lot of 2-car tandems heading down the front straightaway towards the end of, the back of the pack, which the TV doesn't show. I watched, Ross Chastain working with Reed Sorensen. Bailey Curry was working with, the 51 car, and they were just, working together, trying to catch up to the pack. Who else had a good run? Denny Hamlin, I thought for a lock he was going to do great. He did do good. He stayed mostly in the top 10 throughout the day. Kevin Harvick, I want to talk about Kevin Harvick. When he had that uncontrolled tire, it was so upsetting, because he beat Kyle Busch off the pit road. And then on top of that, he had a power steering problem, fell back. It was unfortunate because he had a dominant car, and both of my locks seemed like they were going to win there for a second. But unfortunately, Harvick bounced back. So don't get mad at me because Harvick did bad. That's not my fault. He dominated that race. So about the winner, Kyle Busch, they had a great strategy in the beginning of the race. They came to pit road before the competition caution, which basically set them up for the rest of the race, because they had enough fuel to do one stop at the end, like most people. So that was smart by Adam Stevens and them pitting as early as they did, which I was a little bit confused. I thought there was a problem, but then when I saw more cars coming down, it made sense. There weren't a lot of cautions in the race. I think there was 8 altogether, maybe with the competition caution, and I'm not sure if that was including stage cautions, but a lot of cars blew tires or had issues. Austin Dillon early on said that he got wrecked by Paul Menard, even though he drove into Paul Menard's nose, spun out, hit the wall early. Ricky Stenhouse, Corey LaJoy, Matt DiBenedetto spun out. I'm pretty sure that's everybody. I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody. Ricky Stenhouse hit the wall hard, though, I'll tell you what. A lot of cars got destroyed. But I will say this, though, as I wrap up this video. The overall racing was really good. It was fun being there in person. Definitely, if you get the chance, go do it. But I'm going to be going to the July race now, so I'll probably be doing another video for that. But I'm going to be doing this all the time now because this is just so much fun. I love breaking stuff down. I love talking about fantasy stuff. So, you know, we're just going to keep doing this on the channel. And I hope you guys are enjoying it too, because I understand that, yes, we have those YouTubers out there that are hating on NASCAR right now and that are biased towards hating certain things, but I'm enjoying where the sport is right now, because not every week you're going to get a great finish. You know, there's got to be some races where the dominant car just takes off and goes. It has to happen. It's part of the sport, and, you know, some people can't get used to it, and they just they can't accept reality, but, you know, other than that, that's all I have in this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.